Donald Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi has been awfully silent lately. I guess she doesn't want to talk about the Epstein cover-up that she's involved in, but she broke her silence to attack a federal judge, the chief judge of the Washington, D.C. District Court, Judge Boasberg, a very well-respected, moderate judge who commands the respect of everybody, in that D.C. circuit and across the judiciary, that is. Pam Bondi posted that she will basically be referring Judge Boasberg to, I guess, the State Bar Association to investigate him for engaging in a breach of the rules of professional responsibility, or perhaps a judicial complaint against the judicial ethics with the Judicial Ethics Board. She posts, "Today at my direction, the Justice Department filed a misconduct complaint against U.S. District Court Chief Judge James Boasberg for making improper public comments about President Trump and his administration. These comments have undermined the integrity of the judiciary, and we will not stand for that." Each day she demeans the DOJ even more. But let's not forget what she was previously saying when it came to the Epstein files. Here's a supercut of her right before the about face on releasing the files. Let's play it.
What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names. Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children.
Well, I guess they're not releasing that anymore. Ghislaine Maxwell has been meeting with the DOJ and getting immunity. And now I guess I would say this is their latest distraction attempt attacking Judge Boasberg, but really it's part of an insidious plan to destroy the judiciary. And going after Judge Boasberg is, really just like going at the heart of a law and order, well-respected judge. Let's bring in Harry Litman. Harry, former federal prosecutor, you were the top prosecutor, United States attorney for the Western District of Pennsylvania. You were a top DOJ official in Main Justice in Washington, D.C. Pam Bondi, first off, as you told me before we've done this video, a lot of the things she's saying is false here. It's not like a public comment to begin with that Judge Boasberg is doing. But what's she doing? What's their beef with Boasberg? Is it really just about their assault on the judiciary? And you think this is a broader attempt to just kind of distract by creating this war against Boasberg?
Well, yes. I mean, that's a big part of it. But in general, remember, Trump hates him because of the rulings he's made fairly. He's the one who called them out for, in fact, probably violating his orders. He's still to determine that. He's the guy March 15th who says, don't let those planes land. And we think Emile Beauvais, now say several whistleblowers said, they're going to land no matter what, and we have to consider telling the judiciary, fuck you. She said, I mean, the complaint, she says it's private, disparaging comments that bring the judiciary into disrepute, just like wrong. But public. So first, a private meeting of the judicial conference. Second, it really appears that he's asked, we only have a sort of third-hand memo that she got by what I think anyone would call a sort of right-wing group, not the actual minute. But if you read it carefully, it looks pretty likely that the Chief Justice says, okay, are there any concerns? And he is relaying concerns on the part of his colleagues. Remember who his colleagues are, Ben. These are the very judges who spent 3 years trying all the January 6 cases, seeing who they were, only to have the new administration come in and just wipe out all their work and lionize people who these judges knew to be insurrectionists and serious criminals. So Trump has wanted to go to war with Boasberg. He is, as you say, by the way, totally respected on both sides of the aisle. This is the guy who was Brett Kavanaugh's law school classmate, but more than that, a moderate, thoughtful, tempered judge. And she's just said again and again, this is the claim. First, that it's public. Oops, it's not. But then second, that he lied. How? because he said that there were concerns on the part of the judges that maybe the U.S. wouldn't obey court orders. Now, one, that's true no matter what. There were concerns, but two, they proceeded to violate court orders, and that's exactly what now whistleblowers are saying, and we know he has to Boasberg still figure out. So on the merits, it's wrong. On the description, it's wrong. Everything about it is just petty and nasty. Why is she doing it? Well, I think in general, it's her boss, who she will. There's no command he could give that she wouldn't do. Wants to go after Boasberg. That's for starters. But I think it also makes other judges, maybe they have to be worried that complaints will drop against them. I think it kind of puts it in the water, this total bogus scenario that judges, rather than actually applying the law, are just doing politics and taking it out on the Trump administration. Nothing could be more off target than Boasberg and this case, but that, she probably doesn't know, and in any event doesn't care. So it's all completely meritless. You typically, I think, the head of the D.C. Circuit who gets this would, give it back in the hand treatment. It's from the Attorney General of the United States. So, maybe he thinks about it a little bit, but it's completely irresponsible for her to do this. It's mischaracterized. This pretty much at every step, it's wrong factually and just sort of nasty over the top. Now, it could be, of course, Boasberg is now going to consider whether to hold DOJ in contempt, which, if they violated his orders, they richly deserve. And who's the central figure there? Emile Beauvais. He's the one who seems to have said it. So you could see it as sort of a preemptive blow, but as happens so often with the administration, Boasberg is finding legitimate things, and they're just making it up and being, political.
Harry, it seems like Pam Bondi's done everything to rip this DOJ to shreds. I mean, at this point, they've gotten rid of, or people, between their terminations and people quitting, they've lost a lot of really great lawyers. We see them going after that first United States attorney in New Jersey who should be filling in for Alina Habba, who the judges wanted, Republican, all the bona fides of someone who you'd want to be a top prosecutor. The Trump DOJ viciously went after her and her reputation and her credibility. This is a career Republican prosecutor, exactly the type of person you'd want to be a United States attorney. And now a lot of those cases in New Jersey have this taint on them as well. Is there an illegal United States attorney working in New Jersey? And the very fact that you have someone like Alina Habba in that position is also an FU to the judiciary, because, it's someone that's the type of position that should be vetted, who should be a very serious, very serious person. Harry, you don't brag about yourself, but you clerked for 2 Supreme Court justices. You went to the top law schools. There was a path before you became a United States attorney. And look, that's not to say that there are, great lawyers who don't go to top law schools. I'm sure there are a lot of great people out there who don't clerk for Supreme Court justices, but that's just a different path that you go down in your career. And it doesn't mean you won't have a great, but at the Justice Department, these are the elite positions for the top lawyers in our country. And now they're being occupied by people who don't deserve it. We heard the story out here where I live in the Central District of California, where, a young guy who's now the United States attorney there, I think all of 36 years old or 37 years old, who was not a senior person there, I think he was like an assemblyman or something too. He's basically quoted by people there as saying, F the DOJ handbook. I want you going after X, Y, and Z people. And Trump fires Maureen Comey in the Southern District of New York. You take this all together, and the DOJ is a clown. It's just a clown. It's just a cartoonish clown show that looks no different than what you see in prosecutorial bodies in Russia. I'll give you
It's
the
totally ravaged, and it's a train wreck. But let me tell you, this is another instance, what you've just talked about with Haba, where they're just making it up. So thank you very much for mentioning. But let me tell you, the last step of my path, it was a royal time, and they weren't confirming too many people. So while my nomination was pending, they put in someone else. The court put in someone else, a very solid Republican career person to run the office until the political process ran its course. People forget here the reason the court not only can do it, but must do it is because they haven't been able to get her confirmed. And in that situation, that's what the law says. The court steps in, and they stepped in and put in the best person. And by the way, Haba, with the way she's handled the office, the partisan way she's handled it, morale, many outlets have reported, is just completely in tatters. She would be the last person they'd appoint. But they took that as such an affront. It happens all the time. Any other administration would say, okay, you stay there until we get our person in. Instead, they took it as a total affront, and screw you, we're going to put our person in. We don't care whom we run over. Right now, they've made a total mess, by the way. Today in New Jersey, it's like a snow day. Nobody knows what to do because there are two candidates for U.S. attorney, and it's sort of up in the air because of the really sort of very labyrinthine way the law works. There's some real reasons to think Haba's, as nasty as the maneuvers were, they weren't effective. But it's the exact same thing. They take, rather than just handling a routine situation and the way the way Congress has required, and Congress can do what it wants here. These are inferior officers under the Constitution. They say, we're gonna win. You're trying to get in the way of the administration and president's choice, and we're gonna do what it takes to win. That's what we do here in the Trump administration. It's completely beyond the pale, but B, just not thinking at all about following the law and the norms of the DOJ.
You and I are going to do a video on this soon, but also the speed with which the DOJ gave Ghislaine Maxwell immunity contrasted to the fact that Congress is like, absolutely not. We're not giving you immunity. We are a sex trafficker. What are you talking about? We're not giving you immunity. Just goes to show you too, like, think about how that just degrades the DOJ. You gave her immunity after her conviction. I mean, that's the biggest no-no, and setting aside her. If you want to give the immunities to the people and all of that, I mean, you do that before, you do that, if they're cooperating, you do that if they show remorse. The DOJ determined that Ghislaine was a liar, a perjurer, even though they... Yeah, and a sex trafficker. And
but it's even worse, Ben, because they're not normally. You do that if there's a good reason that redounds to the public's benefit. Like you get other. This is all about Trump's political benefit. The DOJ has no business being within 6 miles of this as of now, and they're just running personal political errands for the guy who comes before the Constitution in Pam Bondi's Department of Justice.
Everybody, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, but more importantly, go to Harry Litman's YouTube channel, Talking Feds. Go to Harry Litman's Substack, Talking Feds, and go to Harry Litman's audio podcast, Talking Feds. You just search Talking Feds, subscribe to it. You're not going to regret it. It's where I get my legal news from. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Ben. Talk to you soon.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.